his eyes for the night. He had hoped to have the wall to himself for the days ahead. Ridiculous, but still a wish. He switched the headlamp on and looked at the hands that glowed from his watch face. He could beat the sun in its breach over the peaks if he got the stove going right away and water heated up. He shimmied out of his mummy bag, crammed the bulk into its tubular sack, and began to dress before the oncoming dawn.
Courage is esteemed a platonic ideal in the Western world. To move toward some unknown, to venture, to risk are strivings we are born to. In our willingness to enter the remote or the hidden, the rare, the strange, the alien, we are rendered not only braver, but better and more industrious with respect to that which befalls someone unwilling to attempt the seemingly impossible. To strive is to pull away the cotton in our days, those stretches of time that dull the tongue and muffle the spirit. Just as the climber aspires to feel more alive, so too the climber may climb for immortality. In choosing a course that could lead to death, he or she chooses the glory of being remembered. Though there be no such apparent heroism in poetry, is it not for the same honor the truly noble writer writes?
The professor opened a can of Viennese wieners, plucked the pasty little hot dog shapes of uncertain meats from the tin, and sandwiched them into day-old bread. He swallowed the breakfast down with swigs of instant coffee, considering the words written the night prior. Hardly a beginning. There was so much to be said. But how to say it? And what was the it? To say what has not been said. He looked out to the valley beyond. The light of daybreak paled the face of the wall, making the hump of colossal rock shimmer like the flesh of an enormous sea creature. Luster of granite, igneous mass, well-formed crystals of feldspar, resistant to weathering, ability to take on a polish, flesh-colored, block-jointed, formed by cooling magma, widely used as ornamental stone. Those who want monuments, to talk anula, an aggregate of minerals he would have a chance to dance upon. He had studied the way up yesterday, climbing from the base to the crest with his eyes, and now he did so again, reminding himself how to proceed. He would not be going up the easiest route, but instead following the line a drop of water would take on its way down, this for the sake of the purity of the line itself. He would get at least a third of the way up the prow by sundown, averaging at least as much each day after. It would take him 3 days of steady upward gain to get to the top, could be 4 if there were weather or some other unforeseeable go-wrong or whipper. There were unknown variables ahead, but with them clear ways as to how to proceed, and so a notion of safety. The route had been planned. He had the power of technique and practice, moreover, the intent. It was all a matter of wanting to do it enough. With such conviction, it would then require only the ability to keep on until reaching the zenith, all the while aiming for some intangible point beyond. Someone inside the tent opposite coughed. The professor looked out to see the shelter bubble and pock. He heard metal of zipper, mumble of voice, rustling from within. He packed his sleeping belongings into the hall bag, stowed the food sack and water jugs into the pig too, adding any miscellaneous gear for what-ifs: space blanket, extra batteries, anorak, bandages, repair kit, ointment, tape. He picked the burden up and heaved it over his shoulder, adding his coils of rope onto that. He placed the rack of hardware around his neck for now, planning to shift some of this ironmongery to his hip when he arrived to the base of the cloven dome. He slipped the hammer into its holster, filled his chalk pouch with chalk, took a last swig of the instant, and tossed the tin cup into the tent. Then he zipped the tent fly closed and was off.